Hello, friends. My name is Charmaine from Two Witch Isle, and this is another Witches Cauldron. Now, last episode, I was reading I was doing a review on a book that I had read, which was called The Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents by Lindsay C. Gibson. And I wanted to pull maybe a couple of exercises over to the cauldron here because I thought they were really powerful exercises when you are on a spiritual path or just trying to heal from trauma. So, the first one that I'm bringing over is essentially to awaken to your true self. This particular exercise was very, very difficult for me. I remember doing something very similar to this back when I entered therapy in 2009, 2010. And I remember just really being stuck on this, not really having anything, and I'll get to the reason for that. However, I want to at least let you know how to do the exercise. The exercise to help you awaken to your true self is to take a piece of paper and then fold it in half. On the top of one half of that paper, write my true self. And on the other half of that paper, write my role self. So take that piece of paper, fold it in half. On this side, write my true self. On this side, write my role self. And then look at the true self. This is where I had the problem. Think back to in your childhood when you were the happiest or something that made you very, very happy doing even. They say go deep. They recommend that you go back to who you were before the fourth grade. What were you interested in? Who were your favorite people? What did you like about them? If you had free time, what did you like to do? How did you like to play? What is your idea of a perfect day? What really raised your energies? Write down your thoughts about this in no particular order as they come to you under that true self. Now, when I first did this exercise and they told me to go back to when things were the best, well, I really didn't have any memories. I struggled to remember a whole lot of my childhood. I remember quite a bit of bad stuff, but it was very hard for me to remember times that I maybe was truly happy. I had trouble connecting to those feelings. All I really connected to was the hurt and the anguish that I was going through. So, and then coupled with the fact that my trauma happened when I was 5, at least that was the first time that I remember something happening to me. That like leaves a before time where there's very, very minimal chance that I'm going to remember anything. So it was almost like trying to make believe instead, like imagine having a childhood that was perfect. What did it consist of in my mind? What would have made my childhood better? What would have healed me during my childhood? Or, there was always people that you were happy to be around. Even, I mean, for myself, I knew there were people that I was happy to be around, whether or not there was a trauma going on or not, if that makes sense. So I really had to like come to terms with the fact that the stuff that I'm going to put there are probably things that made me happy, despite the fact that there wasn't a pre-trauma for me, if that makes sense. That may apply to others out there. I'm sure it does. You're going to contemplate who you've become in order to feel admired and loved. Are you now involved in things that you aren't really interested in? What do you make yourself do because you think it means you're a good person? There's a bunch more questions here. I'm not going to read them all. If you're interested in the book, definitely get it. Like I said, Kindle and audio, it's there. Then you take that list. Now you have 2 halves of it, and you're just going to tuck that away for a little while, and you're going to kind of let it digest for at least a day. Then open it up and smooth out the middle and compare those two sides that are there, because you want some time. Sometimes looking at stuff like this can be very triggering and raise emotions, and you do not want to go into something with raised emotions when you're trying to take an objective view. That's why you tuck that little piece of paper away for a day, let everything come down, and then take a look at it and compare them. Are you primarily living from your true self, or is your role self dominating over your life? When you have this written out on paper, you can take an objective look at what's going on. So I did the exercise very quickly, not like in detail, in depth. Don't need to go into too much depth. However, I wanted somewhat of an example of what it looks like. So, true self. You know what? I'm going to take you to the past first. True self. In my past, my abuse started at 5 years old. I do not remember what I was like. Going to my role self in the past, I escaped through the military. I must look like I can handle anything at any given time. I never complained about anything. I kept myself seen but not heard. I had to look appropriate at all times, including hair, makeup, all that stuff. I had to have that picture perfect family. I had to have family interaction, which meant I had to be sometimes in a situation I didn't actually enjoy, but I had to play pretend like I did enjoy it at the time because it was expected of me. Um, and that was kinda at where I held myself. I held myself at the mercy of judgment of others. If somebody said I should be doing something other than what I was doing, I'd take a good look at it and go, "Oh, you're right. You're probably right." I never trusted my own judgment. I had a hard time trusting my own judgment, and that just comes from the kind of trauma that I had. Now let's go to right now. What does it look like for me right now when I fold that paper in half and I look at my true self? My true self is creating art. My true self is gardening. My true self is singing and dancing around my kitchen. My true self is loving animals. And my true self is just really being at peace with who I am, where I'm at, and how I make my own happiness. My role self, when I got here, I had to think about it a little bit. And my role self now, I just hope that people see me, or at least the authentic me, and not the on magical me, because sometimes in certain situations, I am very much alive and on for a whole weekend, but then there's a cost to that being on and down for a week. So, you know, um, hoping that others see me when I'm out and about, that is something that is part of my role self. And it isn't so much that they see me or see me as something like see me as beautiful or see me as magical or see me as um assertive and powerful, anything like that. It's not that they see me anything like that. It's just that they see me, my authentic self. They don't see something that I am not. Um, and then, I have friends that use me to voice their displeasures. And, that's okay every once in a while, but I don't let that role part of myself take over anymore. I don't allow for people to just dump on me. Usually they ask first, and if I have a problem with it, I say something right away. Um, but it's a very fine line in that role self of what I can allow or where my boundaries really are. They must be very well defined in my friendships now in order to keep me safe in that role self that I take on. But that's pretty much it, me in a nutshell, and or at least a few things about me in a nutshell. And I am looking at these two differences in the list where, I had to be that strong military person. Then I was that strong family person. I was that strong mom, that strong wife. And I've come away from all those things where I don't have to be that anymore. My role self, I guess I could also put in there that I am a mother as well, and I'm always there for the children should they need me. But, you know, that again, that's a delicate line as well. There's balance and there's boundaries there as well. There are some things that I just cannot do for my children and they have to do for themselves. But I am there to support them as they need me, just as I am there to support my friends as they need me. And I hope that they're there to support me when I need them. I've always had somebody to support me, and I am thankful and grateful for all of those people in my life that have supported me, even the ones that have supported me in the past that maybe I don't even see or speak with anymore. All of the people that have been in my life, one point or another, have served a purpose and helped me to grow and learn from the interactions that we had. Everybody comes to your life for a reason. I'm a firm believer of that. Anyway, that's what I have today on the Witches Cauldron is this awakening to your true self exercise. I hope that you will take a piece of paper, fold it in half, and write down your true self and your role self and write down the things that come to you, the parts that you play in life, the things that you used to like, and maybe the things that you uh, are doing now that you don't really want to be doing, so that you can really take a look, an objective look at yourself and really gauge what is serving you, what is serving your higher self at this moment, what is serving you to move forward to the life that you want. Because we're going to build a life no matter what. Do we want to build something that is worth working for, or do we want to build something that we don't want to be living in? There's a big difference. Decide which one you want to be doing. Anyway, as always, take what resonates with you and leave the rest behind. And until next time on the Witch's Cauldron, this is Charmaine. Light and love.